Okay, hello everyone. I got a question from one of the followers on my Facebook page. She wanted to learn how to do some edging on, she sent me a picture of some beadwork and she wanted to learn how to do the edging on it. And so making this for her, but also for anyone else that would like to try and learn. There's also videos on YouTube that you can check out. But I've learned that through beading from what my grandmothers and my family have told me. So if you can relate to this video a little bit more, then that's great. If not, if in a different YouTube video would help, I am perfectly fine with that too. So anyway, you have your leather cut to the shape of your beadwork. What I also like to do is just to make it a little bit more stiffer is I like to add cardboard to the back. I was taught this by family members. And you want to cut your cardboard so that it's a little bit smaller than your beadwork. Because when you're combining your layers, you want to be able to get through there without hitting that cardboard, because that's kind of tough. You can bead through it if you want, but I prefer to not have that headache. Anyway. So here's my leather, perfectly cut to the shape of what I want it to be. And I have threaded my needle. I like to use a short needle when I'm going through leather. And normally I use the long needles if I'm just making a new pattern. So it's up to you. It's whatever you prefer. I find that I don't bend my shorter needles up as much as I do with the long needles when I'm going through. In a perfect world, if I had remembered when I was putting on my banding to line up my center, the center of my cabochon with the center of my rhinestone banding, I'm just a little bit off. I'm going to show you how you can fix that. If you have it lined up, then perfect. Either way is okay. You'll be fine. If you're really picky about it, then you might need to redo your banding. Okay, so we're going to line this up. I got my thread knotted, and I'm going to come up through the back. So when you're coming through the back, you want to make sure that you're coming up between these two rhinestones when you're starting it. And I prefer, when I'm putting on a loop, I prefer to start at the top first, because I get, I keep going and then oh my gosh, I got to put a loop in. So I train myself to do the loop as quickly as I can. So anyway, when I start it, I'm going to come up through two rhinestones of my rhinestone banding. And I drag everything with my string. Okay. Anyway, so I got it started. Now I'm going to I'm going to go with 3. And I'm going with 3 because it seems like it's enough to cover, to attach these without being too bulky. Now when I go back through again, I'm going to, just like I started through the back, I'm going to do the same. Go through the back and in between your next 2 rhinestones. And you're going to do another 3 beads, and you're going to come up through your next 2 set of rhinestones between your rhinestone banding. Okay, so we are pretty close to the top where we want to do our loop for if you're putting in hooks. If you like to put in flat backs, you can either glue your flat back on your back here, or you could do thumb backs, they're called also. You could cut 2 slits in, insert your thumb back, and then your thumb back will be secured inside your leather. You could glue it down if you want it to stay stiff, or you can leave it. I like to glue it down just so that it's not moving around, and I use a hot glue gun. So now I want to do my loop. So I'm going to add on 10 beads. 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. So I'm going to go through the front. And remember when I told you I didn't line up my rhinestone banding correctly when I was putting it on? So to correct that, instead of going through this center bead right here, I'm going to go through the next bead. It's going to create a big loop, but it's also going to fix my problem. So I would come up through there. If you were perfect and you remembered to line it up, then you would go through this middle bead, this next one. You wouldn't skip one, but I messed up, so I need to skip one to line it up right. So I'm going to go through the front. I'm making my loop for my earring hook. And of course, your string is gonna drive you crazy, but by getting all spinny and knotty. Okay. So then, I'm not on the right side because I want to come up through here. But my string it's not gonna lay out like I have it when I first started in the same direction. I want it to keep laying out in this direction. So I need to come back through my leather, through the back, but I don't want to go through the same hole that I came up through because that's going to take my loop away. Come on, string, pay attention. All right, so I'm going to move just a little bit over from that hole where my string is coming out. And I'm filming this with my cell phone. It's not the best, but it's better than my webcam. So you're going to go back through, making sure that you're not going through the hole that you came up from. You want to move just a little bit over. See, here's my original hole. Here's my needle coming up through the same rhinestone bandings, or the same rhinestone on my banding, and that's going to set you back up to finish your earrings, to finish your edging. I'm not sure if this is how it's supposed to be done. I actually just figured this out on my own and it works for me. If not, you could definitely look at something on YouTube and find something there that might be a little easier for you to understand, or maybe they're doing it the right way. I'm not sure. It's just trial and error. I just work on it. Anyway, so now I can get to start finishing my beading, my edging, like how I was doing here. So 3 beads. I'm going to go through my next 2 rhinestones, start from the back of the leather, push it through, shaky, pull it nice and tight. And you would just do the same thing all the way around. If you were putting on the flat backs, the thumb backs, the lever backs, whatever you prefer to call them, you wouldn't have to worry about this loop. You would just continue this pattern all the way through. See how that comes up? This is something that I had finished using the same edging. This is a lapel pin that I made. Okay, so don't do this part. Don't just cut it like that. I want to show you, I don't have time to finish this all the way around, so I want to show you when you get all the way around how you're going to finish your knot out, okay? So don't do this part. I'm going to pause it. Okay, so pretend that I've done this edge all the way around. I'm right here, I'm getting very close to where I started. So I'm putting on my 3 beads, going through the rhinestone, the 2 rhinestones, and this is going to be my last row of rhinestones. So I'm coming up between my next 2, which is going to be where my first guy is at. Okay, so now I'm done. Now I want to knot it. I'm going to go take my needle, going from the front, go through the very first one that I started. That's going to get my needle to the my thread to the back side. Okay. And then I'm just going to find this little tiny piece of string that's coming out. See your string? I'm going to go through and create a loop and go up it 2 times. Up through it 2 times. That's going to get you a nice little knot. So I went up it 2 times. You're going to cut it, and then if you like to, use your needle to get, you know, when you cut your edges, you want to use a, not a needle, a lighter to burn your edges, and that will secure your knot. For peacock edge, which is the, what was in the picture that the lady had sent me. She wanted to learn how to do that edge, so you could normally do 3 beads, start with 3 beads. Once you get really experienced, you can add on more beads. I first started with 6. My mom taught me to start out with 6 beads. But we're gonna do, we're gonna start with 4. So that it would, so I could show her how to get that edge. So pretend all this is gone. It's not on there. This is the only piece of beadwork I have ready right now. So I'm just kind of using this as my little, my example. So we're gonna start clean. We're gonna start fresh. You're going to do the same way. You're going to start the same way. You're going to start through the back side. Go through all your layers, your leather, your pellin, your beadwork. You're going to come up between those 2 rhinestones. There's a rhinestone right here and a rhinestone right here. And you're coming up in between them. Okay. So instead of doing the 3 edge bead or peacock with just 3, we're going to do 4. We're starting out with 4. Okay, we're going to come up through the back between the next 2 rhinestones. Okay, now if you notice, when you come up through your very first bead, the first one that's back there that you see, which is this one, you're going to come up it. And this might get a little confusing. Think of this bead right here as becoming your first bead for your next set that you're going to do. So you always have 4 beads, but you're only putting on 3 at a time. So we're going to do 3 beads. 1, 2, 3. think of it as 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? So you're going to come up through the back again. Between your next 2 set of rhinestones. And then you're coming up through the back here. You're coming up through this one to start your next set. So 1, 2, 3, 4. But you're only adding on 3 at a time, if that makes sense. 1, 2, 3. Go between your next 2 rhinestones. Okay. Oh, shaky, shaky, shaky. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Here's the back, coming through the back between the 2 rhinestones. You got your 3 beads right here. Okay. Through that last one in the back to start your next set. Now, you wanted to put a loop in. You're going to do, I don't know if I'm doing this right. I just kind of taught myself, and it's just how I do it. If there's an easier way to do it, feel free to continue on with that. Let's see. So I'm going to put on, so here's my first bead. I'm going to put on, I want 10 beads total, but I'm only putting 9 on because my 10th bead is on already. So what do we got? What is that? 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Coming up through the back. Okay. My leather is starting to get crooked, but I'm just going to keep going. And when you do this, make sure you keep your leather straight. So I'm coming up through the back. And if you know my next step, you guessed it, going through the last bead. So now I got myself a loop for my hooks, and I'm going to add on 3, like I have been adding on. I don't have to go through the front or back of the leather, the front of the leather, like I did with the last edging, because I'm doing a different kind of edging. So what's nice about this one is you just get to keep on continuing the same pattern. Put your 3 on. Go through the back. Can you see that okay? That's terrible. Anyway, if you could see where my needle is at, it looks like it's coming up 2. It's not. It's coming up the last bead. Okay. And you're just going to continue that all the way around. And I am going to pause this for a real quick bit, and just like during the first edging that I showed you, what you would be doing to tie off your knot once you get finished. So let me pause this. I'll be back. Okay, so just pretend with me here that we've done this edging all the way around. I'm going to show you how you're going to end it off, okay? So we got our beads on. 1, 2, 3. We're coming up on our ending. Come up through that last one. Come on, string. We're almost done. So you want to connect this to here. So remember the fourth bead becomes the first bead. You're going to add on 2, because you got 1, 2, 3, 4. Try that again. So we got the first bead is 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I'm really sorry for the camera angles. So exactly how I look, you're going to come in through that first bead that you very first put in. You're going to go through it. Okay? And then, I don't know if I'm doing this part right, but okay. So what I do is go straight through the leather between those 2 rhinestones. And I end up on the back. You want to try and get closer to your knot. That's fine. You can do that, or you can just get it through wherever you feel comfortable. I'm going to try and get it close to my knot. Nice and tight. So there's the front. And then however you usually create your knots, I'm going to go through this leather just a little bit, the edge of the leather, and get myself a nice little loop made up. See my loop? Starting from the bottom, going up it in the center 2 times, and there's my knot. Snip it, and so those are the 2 edges I know how to do. You just trial and error, you just play around with it. Once you get comfortable, you can start adding on 6 beads. Even when you add on 6 beads, you're going to do, I think it's 4 all the way around, because you're going to have, what is it, 3, 5, okay, I can't remember. I have to try it. Sometimes my hands think better than my head does. So anyway, if you have any questions, just let me know. If this helps you, great. If not, there are lots of videos on YouTube that you can try to learn. Keywords you would type in is like, you know, how to edge beaded earrings or how to make Native American earrings. Just try around with a couple of the words like that, and I'm sure you'll find what you're looking for. But anyway, thanks for watching, and good luck with your beading project.